You're watching Decoded Reactions, where we don't just react, we read the room and decode the culture. What's up, y'all? I just have to come and give y'all a decoded reaction. This time it's going to be in a podcast style about, oh my goodness, Armon Wiggins talking about MilagroGrams. Did y'all catch that? Please type it in, check it out. Let me see who I'm watching right now. Hold on so I can get y'all the correct information. Shout out to Karmic Resolution. Type in Karmic Resolution and it'll say stupid B Armon Wiggins destroys MilagroGrams on Twitter Spaces. I have just caught this. I know I'm a little late, but y'all, I have just caught this. And let me tell you, I have watched Milagro grow over the years. I mean, I was watching her back, let's say like around a year or two after Megan Thee Stallion first came out. And she has always been very strong-willed. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm that bitch. And when you are a content creator, because I am a content creator, I have been viral naturally. I have like gotten off social media because it had me acting out in certain ways. I went through all that in like my teens and my 20s. I'll be blessed to see 32 on the 22nd. But one thing I realized with us growing up with this social media and seeing how it affects us negatively and positively is you really start to see people's characters come out. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Like, you really get to see people's characteristics come out, who they are behind the scenes that they try to hide and could put a good front on. When you start throwing like money in people's faces or opportunities that they've never seen before. When I first started watching my radio, she talked a lot about how she grew up and the hardships where she had to come from and how she's a hustler. She's get it by any means. And I respect people like that. Don't get me wrong, but you got to be careful what opportunity you take it. You feel me? It's like 7 Cups energy. If you know, you know. You got to be careful. You're going to have a lot of opportunities out in front of you when you're talented and you bold like that and people admire you and want to listen to you and give you their trust as an audience. And then you start building a following and that adrenaline just really get to you. See, I'm, believe it or not, a very introverted person, but I love communication and talking about things that's going on and, you know, what we can learn from those things. I just flourish naturally in things like that. But when you're coming into these tight spaces in these arenas, people who came from nothing and they got this hustling mentality, you really have to be careful what opportunity you pick. You understand what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, go ahead and put a sunflower in the comments. Thank you. I appreciate you. But you get what I'm saying? You got to be careful what opportunity you pick. And I feel like with MilagroGrams and, you know, even her saying that she once worked for like a part of a radio station or doing like broadcasting news segment for someone that hang around in Nikki's camp. It was a couple of years ago, but they stopped the segment for whatever reason. And I love that she was able to get that opportunity as a YouTuber and growing on YouTube. But one thing I've learned in life is everything that glitters is not gold. You really have to be careful what opportunities you take in life, because you could see this opportunity like, yeah, this gonna make me bad. It's gonna get me pushed out there further. And then 5 years later, regret that opportunity because it looked good. It looked shiny. It looked like it felt good, but it was like disguised as like karma. That's why I say this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. And I never, one thing I learned about Armon Wiggins, I have realized is that he's smart. He knows how to keep drama. He knows how to maintain the drama. He knows how to make it work for him. I truly admire that in a content creator. But he also knows when something is bad for business, even if it looks good. And I really admire that about him. Now, I don't watch him all the time, you know, but when I have seen him and what he stands for in his character, and when he was explaining why he disliked Milagro, he said, the only thing I make up is my bed. I said, ooh. You know, he said I tried to come and tell her that I was for Meg. I was for Meg. She wasn't for Meg. She was for Tory. I tried to tell her, like, we don't want to get too caught up on which side is going to win. And that's true, because I had a TikTok page where I was also like covering the Diddy trial. And then it was one of those things where I was getting a lot of attention, but I had to pull back and say, I'm a full-time parent of 2 kids, a special needs kid. Do I have time to cover this? And if I miss something, my audience is growing with me. I had to pull back from this. So you don't want to be too one-sided, because look at what happened. Even though he has beat that RICO charge and he still has some other time, you know, you don't want to be like, I know all of this information and I have all the latest details, even though that can build you a high following. Like Armon said, you know, at the end of the day, when the results come, you don't want to be defending yourself. Like, you said this person was going to get all of this and what happened, did it. So I do admire where he stands and what he stands for, when the integrity of him being a content creator. Y'all get what I'm saying? But it is just very interesting watching how this is played out for her. And I do agree with Armon that these celebrities are going to make an example out of people. You know, he also brought up a lot of nostalgia for me back in the day. I can remember Perez Hilton. So many celebrities could not stand Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton even had a website. If you know, you know. Like, I grew up watching the magazine blogs, and then when the internet came about, Perez Hilton, TMZ, these paparazzis, like Armon said, really would get they ass beat. They would beat these paparazzi. Like, I was like, who the hell in life want to be a paparazzi, till I saw how much they get paid for a photo. And I was like, oh, they're willing to risk life and limb. And when I see this with content creators, like Armon said, it's like, y'all out here really willing to risk life and limb for these celebrities that's like could care less. That's just use you in a pawn for their game, whether they're right, they're wrong. We're just observers, you know, as Armon said. And some of us have turned being an observer into content creating a lifestyle for them to make a bag. And then when you get so big that you got these people that you covering want to offer you opportunities, you need to choose which one is the good one and which one is the bad one. That's what I basically picked up. And him trying to say, like, look, I want sister girl, but fuck her. You know, excuse my language. You know, she chose her path, I chose mine. I was right all along. Y'all was gonna find out. Well, my business to tell you. That's just the vibe I got from that. But you know, you could tell he's a seasoned YouTuber, and I love watching people like that stand for what they make me, as a person observing and being a content creator, want to follow more. Even if we have different opinions, one thing I can respect as somebody being a content creator is that you stand on your integrity and your morals. And that's what I got from watching him. But y'all definitely let me know what y'all think down below. Do you think MilagroGrams will be able to beat this case with Meg? Do you think Meg is going to drag her through them courts, you know, allegedly, you know, not physically, but do you think she's going to, you know, make an example so bad out of Milagro that nobody as a content creator is going to want to, as soon as they see something like that again, they're going to be like, nope? Or do you think, you know, Milagro got it? She going to make her look crazy. Now, for me, let me just voice my opinion. I watched the Megan Thee Stallion documentary, and it brought me to tears, because I too am in therapy, and she is explaining how she has been through so much trauma before she even made it to fame, that she's been getting through that and fighting through that, just to have people, when she made it, still cross her. You know, to me, she taught me that lesson of new levels, new devils. And I can relate to that, moving up hierarchy in a work field, being at one of the highest levels you could be, only to see new levels, new devils, and have something, you know, also traumatic happen, and fighting through that. And one of those things you can prove when you want to take people to court through litigation is that how it has emotionally affected you. Armon also said this in his video. How did this emotionally affect you? How is this affecting you every day? Are you depressed? For example, what I went through, the result of what I went through, I am still recovering from that depression, from a job, what a job did to me, not only to me, but to my family, taking something away from me that I'll never get back. And so it is one of those things where you just say, you know, am I going to keep letting the society do this to me, or defend myself legally? And that's what I think Megan Thee Stallion did. She said, hey, what do you think who's right is wrong is one thing, but to have private conversations with these people and take the opportunity that they allegedly gave you. You know, I'm saying allegedly because I'm going off of listening to what Armon Wiggins said. Whether you think they are right or wrong, when you start going with that side and aligning with that side, that's cool. But when you start trying to publicly bash me because you align with that side, because you literally, you know, you're a pawn in their game, that's when I'm going to fight that legally. And I understand what that what Megan is saying with that. Do I, agree with everything Megan Thee Stallion says? No, I think Megan Thee Stallion has some things that she absolutely needs to work on. But in this instance right here, I think she is absolutely right to stand on big business and say, I'm not going to back down from you no more. This is the proof that, like, number one, if y'all don't know, especially when you're going through a court litigation or issue, you going to therapy is already proof that it's emotionally damaging you. And you can't fake that. And I want to let people know who are thinking that, oh, somebody made me mad, I'll just go to therapy. No. When I went through this traumatic event, I could not sleep. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I was having active depression. I got diagnosed with PTSD, all from something from a job related. You get what I'm saying? So Megan Thee Stallion, I'm pretty sure, has went through the same type of things and still had to work and smile and keep through. I also still had to take care of 2 children, go back to my family life. I was able to breathe for a day or two, don't get me wrong, but I had to quickly get back to work, do a new job and do new things. And I was having active depression and didn't know it. And sometimes I'd be happy. I'd have a great day where I'm at peace. And then sometimes I'd be up for 6, 7, 12 hours a night, paranoid, crying, not knowing why I'm crying, waking up screaming out of my sleep. So, when you are going through that, you are looking at ways of how can I make an example so that this does not affect me anymore, or I can reduce this, if anything. And I think that's what Megan is doing with doing this, in my opinion, because me going to litigation, for example, is a way of me fighting back and saying, you did this to my family, you did this to me, you did something to me to violate me, and I'm never going to let you ever do this to me again or my family. And by doing this, I'm going to make an example out of you. I'm going to show you what happens when you do this to me, because I'm pretty sure if you've done this to me, you've done this to several other people before. And I think that's also Megan's attitude. But I am going to be the one to make an example out of you. I'm going to be the one to stand. She an Aquarius. Come on, man. You can't keep doing stuff to people over time, Aquarius over time, and just think they're going to let it go. Absolutely not. You're going to pay for that. And they are very intuitive and ingenuitive on ways that they go about making you pay for that. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that is violent, which I could commend her for going about this the legal route and not lashing out and spazzing out. I commend her for that. But because going through that, like me going through that right now, it is very hard for me I want to get on social media some days and be like, this is what happened, and this is the following dates, and this is where it happened. I'm so mad. It is so easy, but that would just be a temporary release and power back to them. That would not solve anything. Me going to litigation is me standing up and saying, yeah, you did this to everybody else, but I ain't backing down, big homie. I ain't backing down, big dog. I don't care who you are, your status, what you got going on, who is following you, who is interested in you. You did this to me and thought I was a small fry, but let me show you how powerful I am and where my lineage is and who I come from. Let me show you how smart I am. Let me show you the wrath of my energy of you doing this to me, so you never do it to me again. And it not only teaches that person a lesson, but everybody around you respects you, whether you like that person or not, whether you agree with them or not. It's not about that. It's about respecting somebody. So you are your morals. That's what it is. They are watching with both of these women, your morals. And I think Armon clocked that. Your morals. I'm clocking your morals. I'm clocking what you stand for. Me and you ain't stand for the same thing. And I tried to warn you. She won't listen. So yeah, I think you're getting your comment. He said, I do not like her, but yeah. I have watched a lot of YouTubers cover trials over the years. I watched Lovely T do an amazing job covering the trial. I watched Jane. My name is Jane. Y'all know what I'm talking about. God damn it, with the beautiful locks, light skin. And I miss her so much. She's taking a break, or looks like she's taking a hiatus from social media, which I understand because I've done that before as a content creator. But I watched her cover the R. Kelly trial. If y'all remember, if you remember the plaintiff Jane, excuse me. If you remember watching the plaintiff Jane cover the R. Kelly trial, put a pancake in the comments. And I enjoyed her commentary so much. I would laugh so much. She really got me through going to school online. I would listen to her while I was at school. But yes, that was very, very funny. I loved her coverage of the trial and the edits she would do. You could really tell as a content creator, she put her all into her work. But just to see like some YouTubers that are just so hungry for that ego, that fame, that they just grab the first opportunity that a celebrity dangle in their face. It is also a lesson to upcoming content creators. You better get your soul intact. You better get your shit together. These celebrities will play you in a heartbeat and won't feel bad about it. I have definitely seen that as a learning lesson. But y'all tell me what y'all think down below. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. 50 subscribers. I love you guys. You are amazing. I would love to do my cartoon style commentary videos for y'all all the time, but I am a mother of two and one is special needs. So a lot of my time goes to my spouse, my family, and being there for them. So thank you for understanding and listening to what I have to say. I love just coming to talk to y'all and seeing where y'all heads at and what y'all think. And thank you so much for your support. And hello to my new subscribers. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And I'll see y'all on the next podcast. Okay. Bye.